What's the dumbest rule your school ever enforced? Can't be standing around in groups more than 4. Gang mentality. My gang of 4 found that policy very convenient. Reminds me of the time a teacher absolutely lost her shit because my friend said something like, "Come on, gang." She was convinced she caught a slip up and that she was about to expose some serious 8th grade gang activity. They outlawed bracelets because there was an article in a magazine somewhere saying they advertised what sexual acts you were open for based on their color. Then someone tried to outlaw wristwatches for the same reason. We had the bracelet rule too, so weird. I think I had a Casio calculator watch when I was in school. I wonder what sex act the teachers might have assumed I was up to. Locked the only boys' bathroom because someone wrote on the wall in Sharpie. It wasn't even anything rude or inappropriate either. It was just the word hi or something like that. Didn't unlock the door until one boy wet himself and parents threatened to sue. That kid really sacrificed himself for everyone else. Not really a rule, but the toilet paper holders are outside of the stalls on a wall. So you have to calculate before taking a shit how much you need and hope that it was enough. Awful. And impossible. Banned all backpacks, bags on campus. Students were expected to somehow carry everything they needed in hand. This was especially challenging if you had a non-ideal locker placement. Ours did this too because in college they won't let you carry your bags everywhere. Fucking liars. College professors don't give a sh555. My HS did this too. A tripping thread in classrooms apparently. Not sure if the rule still exists there as this was like 10 years ago. I got a suspension for holding a stick. The phone call with my mom went something like this, only slightly dramatized. "School, this is the Keck, your son has been suspended." "Mom, oh my goodness, what did he do?" "S, he was holding a stick." "M, did he hit someone with it?" "S, no. He was just holding it." "M, did he threaten to hit someone with it?" "S, no, just held it." "M, did he refuse to put it down when you asked?" "S, no, he was very cooperative." "M, so. What did he do wrong?" "S, he held a stick." "M, and I should be upset about that?" "S, absolutely, you know we have a zero tolerance policy." "M, right. Well, I'll talk with him." As you might guess, I did not get in trouble at home. We suddenly one day weren't allowed to stand in circles during recess because, and I quote, "we could be dealing drugs." I will add that for the years prior we had been standing in circles no problem. Next recess, we stood in a triangle, cue principal going apeshit. Next day we stood in a square, principal kept us inside for a week. And threatened us all with detentions if we did it again, etc. I believe their idea was open-ended circles so they could see what we were doing. Still stupid. No farting in class. They would say if you need to fart then go to the toilet, but then 9 times out of 10 if you asked to go to the toilet they'd say no. I remember in 5th grade we would have farting competitions to see who could fart the most during the day. We might have needed this rule. Zero tolerance. Just means that if someone starts a fight with you, you fight back as hard as you can. You're going to get suspended for defending yourself anyway, might as well make it worthwhile. In elementary school I literally got chased by a group of about 10 to 15 kids because we were playing Kill the Carrier and I absolutely destroyed one of their friends, so for some reason they decided the game didn't matter at that moment and that they'd all try to fight me. So all I did was run away and head into the school to tell a teacher, and the principal had the audacity to give me their form of detention, no recess, for 5 days straight, along with all of the other kids. I remember hearing my dad yelling at the principal since this was like the 4th time I got in trouble for simply defending myself or escaping conflict. Years later I found out he actually cursed her out and she was standing there in shock. You have to wear your tie all the way home. Some sad bastard teachers would stand on the main road away from the school and try to hand out detentions in presumably their own time. Why even do this? You're not even in the school property. I had sad teachers that would stand at the public, not school-owned park, and tell kids not to play on it and to go straight home. Who gets mad at kids for playing at a park? In grade school, we weren't allowed to play on the playground equipment when it snowed. Eventually, we weren't allowed to play with snow or even go near it. I got in trouble for sitting in snow. This was in Minnesota where it snows half the year. Recess basically consisted of milling around the blacktop for 30 minutes. Yes, I remember the ridiculous snow rules in MN growing up. In my elementary school we weren't allowed to throw snow or make snowballs of any size, including rolling big ones. What ended up happening is that each grade, very small class sizes, would make their own snow forts from existing snow clumps created by the plows. The demand for snow clumps was furious, And so we would then attack other grade snow forts to get more resources, i.e., steal the clumps of snow making up their base. Without the ability to throw snowballs, we'd just body slam each other instead. It was chaos, and also likely more dangerous than snowballs lol. My friend is an administrator at a private school in NJ and the faculty has to sign in and out of the bathroom using Google Sheets. 9 a.m., 10 minutes, MF. That's barely enough time for a good cry. Google shits. When I was in junior school, UK boarding school in the 80s, we were not allowed to say okay as it was considered slang and not befitting the young ladies and gentlemen that we should aspire to be. For context, junior school covered ages 5 to 13. We also had to have a comb and a handkerchief on us at all times. On top of that, we weren't allowed to have our hands in our pockets because it looked slovenly. What Victorian boarding school did you go to? Don't damage school property sounds reasonable enough until you get detention for staining a chair after suddenly getting your period. Happened to a girl in my school but they quickly reversed it after. 1. They realized she was the daughter of a high school teacher and 2. All the boys and girls came forward to complain that she had raised her hand to go to the bathroom and the teacher ignored it. We kept calling his name to get his attention and he just kept teaching class. It was really weird. Anyway, she finally just got up and left. Blood all over the chair. We were kind of freaked out because it was 5th grade and the boys didn't know about periods yet and only a few girls really did. She was the first one in our entire grade. Teacher didn't even clean it up or call anyone. Class ended and we went to the next class and we could hear the class filing and going WTF. Teacher tried to twin her in for leaving class and see reasons above why it didn't work. To our credit, not a single person teased her and every one of us went to the principal to complain about the teacher. But tenure, you know. No fighting, enforced by punishing the kids who were getting hit. Yep, I literally was walking down the hall in junior high, minding my own business and some guy, who I now suspect had some mental health issues and or abuse at home, just laid into me with a series of punches for no reason. A teacher pulled him off me before I could even react. Imagine my surprise when I found out I was suspended too, even though I hadn't done anything other than get assaulted. I don't understand what that's supposed to teach kids. Luckily for me, my dad thought it was bullshit too and came and picked me up from school and said just treat today like it's a day off, you deserve it. It wasn't really the rule that was dumb but the reason for it. In my last year of high school, the school issued a rule that all students had to wear student IDs. If you didn't, you had to immediately go and pay for another ID. While you can see how many students may have saw this a way to skip class, the reason for this was the school shootings that happened the previous year. The reasoning was that it would be easier to spot who is a student and who is not a student to then see who has malicious intent, except that most shooters were students, so. Toilet paper rationing. This was in 1997-98, BTW. Apparently the high school girls' room was going through too much toilet paper so the dean, a woman, stood outside the door and distributed a few squares of one-ply institutional toilet paper to us as we went in. If she noticed toilet paper on the floor, our ration got cut down. If we asked for more for bigger jobs, we were told to save it for home. There were several episodes of girls stuck in stalls until friends could beg for more TP because of period messes or unexpected bowel incidents. The dean wouldn't even hand it over, she would go in the bathroom and pass it a few squares at a time over the door. If you didn't catch it as it fell and it landed on the floor, well, that's your fault and you're not getting more. If you used more than she thought necessary, tough luck, go to class with blood/shit on your body. It took about a week of extremely angry parents coming to the school and calling both the school and the school board, but we finally got our toilet paper back, unlimited. How did we celebrate? Viping her car, of course. I was wearing a regulation uniform jacket in a classroom during winter that had no heating. The teacher demanded I remove my jacket and I refused because I was cold. She sent me to the headmistress. Rule: no duct tape on clothing. Reason: some girls thought they could get past the no ripped jeans rule by covering the tears with duct tape. It became a fad and everyone started doing it, so it got banned. A kid in my AP literature class found a loophole and made an entire outfit out of red and black duct tape. I mean shorts, a t-shirt and a jacket and shoes. When the school tried to suspend him they couldn't because the rule was no duct tape on clothes. It said nothing about clothes made out of duct tape. He won the argument and even wore the outfit a few more times to say fuck you to the school and principals lol. One particular professor at my university would lock the door a minute after class began. If you had to leave to go to the bathroom, you couldn't get back in. Somehow this ancient fossil is still teaching and pulling similar shit. Had the same professor for 3 different classes that did basically this. He would shut the door and pull the window shade down as soon as the clock struck whatever time the class started. Anyone that came in after that, he would write their name down and mark them late.
3 ladies in your grade would be dropped a whole letter grade, from an A to B, C to D, etc.
It was a stupid rule because my college campus was very spread out, so if you were someone that had back-to-back classes all over campus, you would almost guaranteed to be late. I'm pretty sure he was forced to stop doing that because there was a semester where half the class was failing just because they were late one too many times. My high school decided to ban women's athletic shorts one day, which was ridiculous for many reasons. The next day every girl showed up in athletic shorts and the rule was removed by second block. No leaving the dorm unless it's for a fire alarm. I went to boarding school from the age of 7. That rule meant we couldn't get out of our dormitory to have a wee in the night. We had a plastic tub one of the girls brought in and went in that. Then we had to smuggle the tub to the bathroom in the morning without matron seeing. Stupid bloody rule. Dumbest rule, zero tolerance for fighting. This meant both the kid who started the fight and the kid who got beat on were both suspended. If the kid who got beat on just took it, he was just sent home for the rest of the day. If he dared to fight back, he was suspended for a week just like the kid who started the fight. Here's the truly stupid part, the school administrators couldn't explain how this led to more brutal fights.